Yeah, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Gym Crashers with me, Joey the Bull Santana, Adam Woods, and Dondo, and the man, the myth, the legend, the Badger, Ben Jones.
Hell yes. Couldn't have been a better introduction. How are you guys this week? Welcome to another episode of Gym Crashers with our illustrious guest, CSW's own Badger Ben Jones. How are you doing this week?
Good, man. Happy to be back. Blow your views out of the water again. You know how the fuck we do it.
He does that. Damn right. Yeah, man. So,
Thanks for having me back.
This is a pleasure, honor, and you were a gentleman, so there's that.
That's a rumor.
That's a rumor. That's a rumor and innuendo. Don't hold them to it. But how's everything? I mean, since the last time you've been on,
it's going good, man. We've had a lot of stuff happening. Still got the most active fight team anywhere around. Definitely in Southern California. My guys fight way more than everybody else on purpose. So there's a lot of stuff going on. You know, there's been some not so great stuff that happened, and then stuff with silver lining on the clouds and stuff like that. But it's just always moving. We keep it moving. We try to keep positive with all these guys, and I'm in the business of growing fighters.
Hell yes. Dondo, what's up, brother?
Well, I'm just trying to keep up with what's going on at CSW. I know they've got quite the stable already, and then we hear about some new blood in there too. So it's awesome to hear.
A little bit, yeah. We got some of these amateur guys I got coming up. They're going to be making what I feel is a pretty good explosion onto the pro scene. Mm-hmm. I got Ethan Ewing. Mm-hmm. He's the KO Promotions. Great, shout out to Tracy Hess. Great show for my guys. Always puts my guys on. Always takes care of us and gives us really good, fair matchups. But yeah, Ethan Ewing won their featherweight title. Defended it. Should be fighting for the state title. Unfortunately, that opponent isn't able to fight on January 11th, but hopefully Ethan fights on January 11th. We also got a fight offer for January 10th for him for Tough Enough in Vegas for their title. So there's a lot of people that really want him. He's a tough kid, man, well-rounded. And so we'll be taking more than likely the Spar Star fight, hopefully. And then depending on how he does in that, I'm going to turn him pro. And then I got Richie Miranda, who also is the lightweight champion of KO Promotions and defended it. He'll be fighting on Spar Star. And then depending on how he's looking to me, he's real close. He's a fight or two away, if not there already. And then my dark horse is Nick Patea.
Yeah, man.
I tell you what, there's a lot of talent in my gym, right? And there's a lot of guys that can be really good. I believe all of them can be champions. That's why they're there. That's why I'm spending time with them. But Nick, amongst a few others, he has really shined to me as much as what he's doing outside of practice. He's coming back to night class. He's taken Jacob Rosales' catch wrestling class. He's taken my jiu-jitsu. He's taken Coach Paulson's jiu-jitsu class. I feel like he's really, really putting in that extra work. And there's other guys, too. Don't get me wrong. Joey Dorado's coming back. Richie's coming back. But Nick just has this thing. He has that attitude that I like. Like, he's just a fucking dog, right? He's not the guy that's making eye contact in between rounds across the gym. And when you make eye contact, he looks away. He's not that guy. He's the guy that's, Curtis, let's go. Jake, let's go.
Whoa.
Let's swing. Coach, let's go. And, all three of us, Jake's probably a little bit closer to his weight class, but, Curtis and I are much bigger, and there's other big guys in our gym. And this dude's just walking up like he wants to go.
Whoa.
That's a change. That's what I'm looking for, that kind of want to go out and grab it, want to fight the biggest dogs in the room, because I think, he really wants to improve, and he's got a couple tweaks that we're making, but I really feel like he's going to make an explosion on the pro scene. And, Jake has taken him under his wing a lot. They're doing a lot of training together. He's asking a lot of questions, and I can see some big things happening for all three of those guys. And that doesn't go to downplay the rest of the guys on my team. Those guys are busting their ass too. Sure. There's not a man in that room, or girl for that matter, that doesn't bust their ass on a daily basis, right? But those three are just really sticking out to me right now, right? And I can envision their future.
That's awesome. We love all three of them and followed all three of them throughout their fights. Of course, with Sparstar, we see Nick fight there so many times now. So it's great to see him moving forward and actually getting better each time. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. I think before he was a little bit showy, right? Like he definitely like showing and making a good thing. And what I'm trying to do is, and it was very similar to what Curtis was before Curtis was with me. He was, I wouldn't say showy like they're trying to be an asshole when they're fighting or anything, but they're, or flashy. I'm not trying to downplay what they were doing, but it was more just to do it than it was to finish these fucking guys.
Got it.
Right? They come to me, and I try to turn every guy into a finisher. I got no interest in decisions, right? Oh, I survived. I don't want the other corner. I hate when I look over the other corner and we get a decision and they're upset when we blatantly won. I hate seeing that shit. I want finishes. I want guys to go down and be out or be tapping out and quitting. That's what I want. And I think Nick is finally realizing that, So that's where I'm at.
Well, I mean, if those guys that you named are rising through the trenches, those are things that other guys and girls coming up through the ranks can kind of look at those and look at the template of like what,
Absolutely.
like if they don't know and haven't unlocked the system of that is Ben Jones. Here's something, a rubric to kind of follow by and kind of go it. And obviously it's worked with Jacob, it's worked for Curtis and a litany of others. And now they can see somebody that's kind of closer than they are. If they think that Curtis or Jacob are kind of out of reach and, it's something like an immediate kind of goal to kind of strive for.
I talk about with my team all the time, right? And it's one of my biggest things is recognizing clues, right? You have to recognize clues in life. Right, and fighting very, very, it's very easy to compare life to fighting, right? Especially with these guys, and they need to recognize clues. Now, clues could be in your day job, when you're home with your family, when you're walking around the mall, when you're on the mats training, right? When you're watching fights, but they need to recognize stuff. And what you're talking about is exactly true. These guys are recognizing what these guys that are having success, Jake, Curtis, Jackie Gosh, one of my 9-2 guy from Israel. They're recognizing the dedication that these guys are putting in. So they're recognizing those clues and they're absorbing them. But they are also recognizing failures and mistakes, right? So they got to recognize like, this guy lost his last fight, whoever the fuck it is. But I didn't see him coming back to night class, or I didn't see him running,
right.
Or I heard coach bitching and moaning at him about not going to strength training, right? So they're constantly recognizing things,
right.
Recognizing positives, recognizing negatives, and those are the guys that are able to take that and absorb that and really fucking think about it, right? And be able to put both of them in or take one of them away. That's the guys that have success, right? So I'm hoping that they're recognizing these things. I'm constantly preaching about it.
Well, it's got to be kind of cool to know that you can kind of preach a little less with these three, and almost have like kind of foot soldiers into the propagation that you're kind of spreading.
Yeah, I never preach less.
Yeah,
every
absolutely.
fucking day these guys are getting talked to from me. One thing about, my guys practice 5 days a week. It's mandatory. 5 days a week. No other team practices 5 days a week, and it's mandatory, right? But I talk to my guys every single day, right? And they get tired of it. I know they get tired of hearing my voice and saying the same shit over and over and over, but what I'm doing is I'm ingraining shit in their head, right? I'm ingraining these things in their head so that they don't got to think about it. They don't got to guess about it. It's just like, I got to run. I got to run. I got to run. I got to run. Why? Because coach tells me to run every day.
Right.
Coach yells at us, bitches and moans at us. Run every day, every day, every day. These are like the little things that, and look, anybody can teach anybody how to fight. There's fantastic fight coaches out there, right? That can teach you how to strike, teach you how to wrestle, teach you how to grapple, jiu-jitsu, catch wrestling, whatever. There's a ton of coaches out there. But the best ones teach this, right?
Mental.
Because this is the first thing that's going to quit on you in a fight. Your mind is going to quit on you. If there's not a steel trap around your fucking head when you're fighting, you're going to fucking quit. You're going to look for a way out. Right? So more than anything, and of course, I train these dudes like machines. I'm trying to turn these guys into metal. Into metal. But this, if I can get this to compete, right? If I can get this the strongest thing possible, right? Whether it's through them fighting through wanting to quit a workout, or pushing through, or listening to me talk over and over, or just doing something repetitively over and over. If if I can get this shit right, they're not going to be touched. They won't be touched. Because the best fighters I've ever been around, they were stronger here. They might have not had the greatest body. They might have not been the strongest, the fastest, the biggest, whatever. But they had this.
Yeah.
Right? The Coach is a great example. He was a phenomenal athlete. But his mind was so strong that nobody stood a chance. Nobody. And the best fighters I trained with, the world champions, it was their mind.
And that's the intangible that separates them from just a decent athlete, right?
Absolutely. You can have a great athlete if you get somebody who's mentally strong. Navy SEALs. Biggest, strongest, fastest guys don't always make the SEALs, right?
Right, absolutely.
It's the fucking dudes with this stuff. It's the dudes with the no quit. Those are the guys you want going to war for you.
Yeah.
Right? Those are the guys you want defending you, defending your country, defending your freedom, your health, right? So why wouldn't I do the same thing with guys out there fighting for their life?
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, they're not dying or being shot, but they're fighting for their life. They're fighting for their career. To some of them, this is their life.
Absolutely.
So,
now, you mentioned, obviously, promotions like Knockouts promotion in Long Beach.
Great show.
Like LFA on the pro scene, Sparstar on the amateur scene. Got a couple guys on Bellator, right? So, are there any grappling kind of either tournaments or competitions that you look at almost in the same deal to kind of sharpen the tools?
Absolutely. For me, any opportunity for my guys to grapple or roll against different bodies is a great opportunity.
Right.
I don't care whether they're going to a 6-person tournament at some tiny little jiu-jitsu gym that nobody knows of, or they're going to, Fight to Win. Fight to Win's a great opportunity for the higher level grapples. Jay competed in that. We have a guy from our gym, PJ. He competes all the time. He just won a couple. He actually just got his black belt last Saturday, but he went as a brown belt and competed like 2 weeks ago and won up in Bakersfield. That's a fantastic show for higher level grapplers. But any opportunity to grapple against somebody that you don't know them,
Yeah.
it's a great opportunity. And if you put a little bit of competition with it, and you put some medals with it, or a first place or second place, you put like a real competitive edge to it, that even makes it better. Look, when our guys when we all roll together, they know me.
Right.
They know what I'm going for.
Right, absolutely.
Right? That we know what Jake's going to go for. We know what Kurt's going to go for. Well, we know what their strength is. We know, can I out-muscle this guy? I want people to be able to figure that shit out. So for me, compete as much as possible.
And speaking of a small gym that people really don't know is out there, that's our own gym, and the CSW guys came out for a 5-on-5. They walk up, and they strip the shirts off, and they're ready to go.
Yeah, we don't fuck around.
Right? and they won. It was incredible. Actually took out, there was Tillis, BJJ, there was 10th Planet, there was our guys there from this dojo at Delo Jiu-Jitsu. What was the other team that was there, Robert?
Was that one where Bao Quach and Russ Mura?
Oh, that's right. Bao Quach, Russ Mura. Yeah, it was tough, but those are those guys, right? The CSW boys right there.
That's the crazy part. They didn't give a shit.
They didn't care. They didn't care.
Just tell us how it works, and then we'll figure it out from there.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. This is all my guys need to know, right? And this isn't being cocky. Is there submissions? If there's submissions, we will adjust to whatever. No slams, no takedowns, cool, we'll adjust to it. No leg locks, fuck it, we'll adjust to it. We are not one-trick ponies.
One of your guys ran someone through the wall.
Yeah.
It was probably Ethan. I think it was Ethan.
Like, there's a hole in there.
Yeah.
Just be lucky Jake and me were competing in
Oh,
this.
God.
Or Jackie.
We had to go outside for
Because
that.
we didn't send the dogs, right? I think Jake was getting ready for a fight, and who knows what I was doing, but, potential, but... We're really Fight to Win wants to put a team up, and we're thinking about putting together
It's pretty cool.
a team of like myself, Jake, Jackie Gosh, Ethan Ewing. We got a couple other black belts, Brian Cavella.
I'm so excited to see that.
It's gonna be a war.
CBD would love to hook you guys up with CBD. That's all.
Joey, got the mic for you.
The way we train, we need all the help recovery we can get. You got a
we
big
love
pool
to
of
be
it,
a
we
part
can
of-
just
we
lay
love to be-
it.
We'd love to be a part of that team one way or
Oh,
shape
yeah.
or form.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sean.
And there's no guarantee we're gonna win, but here's a guarantee. Just like when CSW fights, you ain't gonna be bored,
Yeah.
right? You're not gonna see a bunch of guys going out there and playing patient, right? It is the one thing that I am not a huge fan of in the grappling community is sport jiu-jitsu, right?
Yeah.
I don't like the points. I don't like having a game plan to win points. Like I want to finish. Unless I can finish another man, right? or the person I'm grappling with, to me, it's not really a win. Right, because the goal, this is a submission tournament.
Right.
As far as I'm concerned, we should stay our ass out there till one of us quits, whether it's by submission or whether you just don't want to go anymore. Right? That's what I feel. Now I know you got to do a time restraint. So you're not gonna, what are you gonna Hicks and Gracie and grapple for 3 hours looking for, Of course I understand that, but I'm not a fan of sport jiu-jitsu. I am a fan of submission only.
Yeah. And not one of your guys dropped to their ass and tried to pull guard.
They're never going to do that.
It just did not happen. Yeah. It just
It
it was so respectful of. I always admire the guys that are going for a shot, that looking for a takedown, looking for a throw, and those guys were always hungry for it.
And I get it. Maybe you're going against a guy who's a great wrestler, but
Yeah.
hey, I'd rather bait you into taking me down and have a counter set up into your double leg or into your single
Yeah.
leg than I would sit on my butt. Right? There's a meme going around. What is it right now? Like I used to pull guard, but then I became a man. Right? And then,
It's a great
I'm probably
meme.
pissing off jiu-jitsu guys, but at the end of the
Whatever.
day, they can't strike.
Whatever.
They can't strike anyway, so fuck them.
Very true.
Well, I mean, when you think about it, we're talking about the fifth go around.
And I'm a jiu-jitsu guy. Yeah. I'm a second-degree black belt under Eric Paulson and Higa Machado, so I fucking love jiu-jitsu, but I'm just saying.
Jiu-jitsu involves strikes. I
much
don't know
more a
when they
catch
lost
wrestler.
this, but jiu-jitsu is striking.
Right.
Yeah.
We do know that the grappling part of it, but if you can't grapple with punches, where is your jiu-jitsu?
What's the point? What's the point?
So there's where the confusion lies, is what it's turned into.
I'm just a fan of all grappling.
That's right.
Judo.
I agree.
And that's how CSW was formed. That's how Eric formed the CSW curriculum.
Yeah.
Is he took the highest things that he was great in all of. Judo, folk style wrestling, right? Shuto, catch, jiu-jitsu. He took it all. He studied all of it from the best of
Sambo.
everybody.
Right.
Sambo, everything, right? And he compiled the highest percentage stuff into CSW, and that's how CSW was formed, right? That's why I feel it's the best system, right?
Yeah.
Plus, I know it is.
That's impressive. Your fighters prove it, so that's what it's all
I
about. They're
appreciate that. We're definitely trying.
Well, I mean, to your point, in terms of having a counterbalance if you're facing a wrestler, we're closely approaching the Habib-Tony Ferguson fight, right, for the title, right?
That's going to be probably one of the most. I'm probably one of the most excited fights that I've actually been looking forward to.
I just hope it
Absolutely.
happens.
I cornered against Tony in his first pro fight.
Yeah.
Really?
He fought a guy from our gym who was a really, really good wrestler. He was a really good wrestler, tough kid, right? Decent striking, and they fought at the Ontario something or other. Jay Martinez fought on the same show.
What the hell?
Jay Martinez actually fought Sam Lira, one of the guys on our team currently, who fights this Thursday for Smash Global.
Yeah.
by the way.
We know Sam.
He's fighting Paulo Tiago
Right
from
on.
the old UFC.
Yep.
Right? They'll be the main event. But Tony fought one of our guys there, and our guy was probably one of the better wrestlers in our gym. Tough, 170. And they got in there. They might have fight 185 that fight, but they got in there. And I remember going in I was still fighting. I go in the ring between rounds, and he's like, "I can't do anything. He's just too strong. He's too good a wrestler." And I was like, "Holy shit!"
Unbelievable.
I go, what? I looked across. I was like, it didn't seem like that.
Right,
It seemed like
absolutely.
my guy was definitely getting out wrestled, but it didn't seem like he was being abused. And I could see in his face. I was like, "Oh shit, he's done.
Wow.
He's done." And then Tony went out there and TKO'd him in the second round. But I could
Shit.
see it in his eyes. I could see Tony had sapped the will out of him, right? So, and I'm just talking about his fight style. His personality is much to be desired. But
We had somebody from us fight Tony too, Frank Park.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Long Beach.
He didn't want none of Frank's hands.
Yeah.
He went to full wrestling mode.
But hey,
Yeah.
Tony can strike too now.
yeah, now,
Yeah, now.
for sure.
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
a long time now, actually. But
Yeah, he's I think it's an interesting fight because he's so good off the bottom, and he can wrestle too.
Right, absolutely.
So it's interesting to see if Khabib's going to put himself in a dangerous position for Tony.
Yeah.
Watch it be a stand-up fight.
I'm wondering
Who knows?
if Tony takes as many chances as he normally does with his just off the wall shit. Sometimes
I don't think he changed that,
Imanari roll for no reason.
That's
Why
his
not?
style.
Why not?
That's his style, yeah.
Why not?
I can't see why
Plus,
he wouldn't.
do you expect him to change?
No,
No.
Tony,
He's
that's
so
that's
headstrong,
why
he's not
what
gonna
happened.
change.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
That's why they have those memes, right? Tony's the type of guy, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No, but I mean that's to your point. In terms of neutralizing a wrestler or baiting him into tricks, that's kind of Tony's deal, and that's almost his offense to thwart Habib is to essentially work off the back and get him into a choke, right? Because we saw with the Barbosa fight, much like you were saying, I mean. Habib literally steals the souls from people, and
he does.
Yeah, so that's going to be an interesting one. I again, 5th time around, so we're praying to like the MMA gods that happens. But I mean, that's the styles make fights, and this is one of them.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, speaking of fights, right? So let's run down some dates. So obviously, first of the year, you've got Sparstar, right?
We do.
January 11th.
We have January 11th, Commerce Casino. We have 3 right now. I have Drake Flores fighting on there. I have a new addition to our team, Landria Brown, right? Actually, my first female fighter to actually coach.
Wow.
She's new. She's been there about a month now. Works her ass off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tough girl. And just getting her introduced to the system.
Right.
Right. This is not a system that you can jump into right away and just right. Like
right.
We're introducing her and she's being flash flooded with it all, right? But she's very absorbent to all of it. Hopefully we have Ethan Ewing on that card. Richie Miranda's on that card. There's a good chance that I'll get a late call for somebody else too, and that's provided people don't pull out of fights. They're always pulling out of fights at the amateur level. And then January 25th was this Thursday. I have Smash Global.
Smash
LA.
coming up.
Sam Lira fighting against Paulo Thiago, like I said earlier. And then January 25th, Bellator at the Forum. I believe it's at the Forum.
Yeah, that's the Forum.
Bringing it home.
Curtis will be making his Bellator return for a very brief. We got 1 or 2 fights. That's it. He'll be fighting Moses Murrieta.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That's a battle.
So that'll be a good fight. And I've trained with Moses a little bit when I was training with Bisbing. I know his coach very well. His coach has trained with us.
Who's his coach?
Brady Fink.
Yeah.
Brady Fink, and Brady's tough as shit.
Yeah, he is.
And he had trained with us when he was fighting, and then he was coming over when I was sparring with Bisbing and stuff like that. And Brady and I have known each other for a long time. He's a fantastic coach too.
Where's Brady at?
I think they mainly train at Aruka.
Yeah.
So that'll be a good fight. We're going up in weight for that. We're going to go up to 180, catch weight at 180. So it's a little bit heavier for Curtis, but he's a big kid anyways.
Yeah.
So, we're going to do that. I also have I've been helping out Darian Caldwell on that card. I cornered him for his last Bellator fight, the first fight into the featherweight tournament for the $1 million. This will be second stage. He's fighting Adam Bork, so that'll be a great fight.
That first battle was something to watch for us because we're Henry's guys too. So Darian's in it just.
Well, so am I. I've known Henry for years, and trust me, I hated
it's a tough one.
That fight because I have so much respect for Henry Corrales.
Thank you for
right?
that.
I mean, he
Absolutely.
is. I remember Eddie when Eddie. I used to go over and train with Eddie Cha et al. And he was my striking coach towards the end of my career. Obviously, Eric was my head coach, but I was working on my striking with Eddie because obviously the connection with Cisco. And I remember him telling me, he's like, yeah, I got this dude, man. This guy rides his bike 10 miles here, right? And then he rides his bike 10 miles home. And I'm like, what's his name? He's like, Mexican kid, Henry Corrales, man. This kid is he's made of iron, and he don't give a shit. And I was like, oh, no kidding. He goes, yeah, he's with King of the Cage. He's like, then I kept hearing about him, and then I met Henry quite a few times, and now we're really cool. And I just hated that fight because I have so much respect for,
right.
And it was Eddie's and my first time coaching against one another.
Wow.
Although Darian's head coach is Jake Bainey, but Jake and I are very good friends, and I've started helping them out a little bit, being like an assistant coach to Jake. So,
that's cool.
Although it wasn't Eddie and I going against each other as head coaches, we still were coaching against each other, and it was weird for me because we'd had such a relationship in the past, and we're still really good friends. But I just didn't like it. I've never really competed against somebody that I knew that well.
Yeah.
So it was a weird, but at the end of the day, a fight's a fight. So, but I mean, look, Henry's a dog, and you're not gonna find a tougher guy in MMA than that, right? That dude's gonna show up. He's gonna fight. If you put a gorilla in there, he's gonna fight a gorilla. Like that's it. That's just what he's gonna do. But that was a tough fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. But Darian, man, looking sharp and ready to move on.
I think we had a really good game plan.
Right.
I think we had a really good game plan, and Darian is one of those guys that
He's gifted.
he's a gamer.
Right.
He's a fucking gamer. He's a national champion wrestler.
Unbelievable.
Right,
Yeah.
and that's just a different animal than
Yeah,
a regular
yeah.
Wrestler, right?
That's a puzzle that's hard to put together.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You could be a state champ, but when
Yep.
you're talking about a national champion in Division One, those are different creatures.
Yeah, there was a few at that time that were coming when he came out. Bubba, him.
Yeah.
Bubba Jenkins.
And there was one more star wrestler that people were hyped about. I think Darian was the one who just kind of.
Well, we're gonna see. I mean, that's what this tournament's about.
He's got Brave. He's got.
Bubba Jenkins doing good overseas. I don't know what they're gonna do
right.
about bringing him back, but that's it's a big globe and there's a lot of MMA going on. So Bubba's
Absolutely.
doing very well overseas for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But Curtis Melinda, I mean, a guy that's born with all the gifts and it just put together. I mean,
Yeah, we were a little bit shocked when he got the release.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you,
don't make sense.
everybody was.
Yeah.
Right. I think the only people that weren't surprised was the brass of the UFC. And they make decisions for whatever reason, right? They don't really got to have a rhyme or reason why it didn't make sense. I think the cut was like 15 or 25 guys
Unbelievable.
that got cut, and we were the only one that didn't make sense. And when you went on Twitter after they announced
Right.
it, Twitter was blowing up like, how the fuck are they releasing this guy, right? And it doesn't make sense to me, but it's not something that you can do shit about. But try to improve your guy, right? And they were very upfront with us about what they thought we needed to do. So we got to work on it.
Mm-hmm.
I wish they would have released us a little bit before because we went 6 months idle with no fight.
Yeah.
And guys that are fighting for a living, they need to work.
Hungry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And I'm not trying to keep my racehorse in the fucking stables. I want him to run. I want him to work. And sometimes it's hard to keep guys motivated to show up every single day. Remember, 5 days a week, no exceptions. No fucking exceptions they miss. Fight or no fight. You're there to help. You're there to get better, and you're there to help your teammates. Right? So it's hard to keep that horse motivated, if he doesn't get a race every once in a while. So I wish they would have released us a little bit more, but he took that time and he worked his ass off. He got into like 6 or 7 jiu-jitsu competitions in the gi.
Yeah.
Right? He ended up getting his purple belt pretty close after that. And then he last Saturday he just got his first stripe on his purple belt. So he's trying. He's working his ass off, and he got a couple pretty good tricks now. Right? And he's getting a little bit back to his he grew up as a wrestler.
Right.
So he's getting back to his wrestling roots a little bit. I mean, him and I were going at it today, and I couldn't. Honestly, we were doing takedowns and ground and pound, but no punches. Punches only when you hit the ground. Fuck, couldn't take that dude down. And he's strong.
Damn.
He's getting strong. He's getting remotivated with his strength training. So I think there gonna be some good things, and I think the UFC is gonna jump on us here pretty quick. Once we win these Bellator fights,
That's what I wanna
or
hear.
Bellator's gonna come to us with a really good contract, right? So I mean, we'll see what happens.
I still want to see him fight at Michael Page.
So do I.
Yeah,
That's the fight.
man.
Guess who doesn't want to see that fight?
Michael Page.
Michael Page.
Yeah.
Wow.
He don't want no part of it.
Matchmaker
That
Simerson
bitch
here.
is hiding over there in England. He don't want none of that shit. And I'm going on a tour over there again, and I know people that train at that gym, and I could give a shit. Right? Buy a ticket. We will travel. Sign that fight. We'll take that fight any day of the week.
That was supposed to happen a long.
He don't want that. He don't want that. He don't want it. Trust me, he don't want it. He's pulled out of 2 fights already with us. And that was before Curtis came to me.
Wow. Damn. So I
He's
mean,
over beating up bums.
Ankle lock
Bums. Bums.
toe holds with the bums. So it's gonna be the same thing.
now theoretically speaking, if we're looking into the crystal ball, that second fight that takes place, assuming everything goes the way
Right.
it wants to.
We got
perform.
a tough fight with
Absolutely.
Moses. Hey, Moses is tough.
Absolutely.
So that'll be a tough fight. Of course, I believe in my guy. Right.
Absolutely. So what's that next fight? If you could just have the ear of Scott Coker, what's the next fight for Curtis?
I obviously, I'm not really concerned. I'm like hyper focused on this fight and really showing out this fight, and perhaps getting the chance to show some stuff to everybody that we've worked on.
Absolutely,
right. Not just him coming out there and head kicking. Of course, I'm gonna love that if he goes out there and head kick sleeps this guy. But if he could show a couple things that he has in his arsenal that people perhaps questioned before, that would really make me happy. I don't give a shit who they line up.
Yeah.
Right? Just put somebody in front, and I want to get to a point where these two companies are fighting for this future star. Right? The UFC is going to realize they shouldn't have cut him, right? And Bellator is going to be really hungry to try to get somebody that is just coming into his prime. Right? And it's, I expect a decent bidding war, and I just expect great opportunities for him.
I think you're absolutely hitting the nail on the head, because a guy like Curtis is, it's going to happen. It just seems like it's right fucking there.
The silver lining is he went and had immediate success in the UFC.
Yeah.
And we beat 3 good guys.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And then we fought 2 guys that are in the top 15 and we lost to them. But the second one, when we fought Bilal, Curtis didn't fight bad.
Right.
Right? He didn't get outclassed. We got out wrestled a little bit.
Yeah.
And we got a little bit controlled on the ground. But he didn't get submitted. He got out of multiple positions.
Right.
Right? Submissions and positions. He was able to get up. Right? So we showed a marked improvement. Right? But him getting released pissed him off. And it showed him that I can't take my foot off the gas. Not with training, not with mental preparation, not with any facet of this game, because I was there. I was cracking the top 15. There was a moment that we were number 15, and we cracked it, right? And he's not content with that.
Right.
And neither am I. Right? So sometimes you dangle that carrot, and then you take that shit away. Some people are going to be like, I don't want a carrot. And some people are going to be like, I want that fucking carrot. I don't want nibble on that thing. I want that whole fucking thing.
Hell yeah.
That's what I believe is I believe that's the real Curtis we're gonna get now.
Top
and of course,
5.
I have a top, unbelievable confidence in my guys and all of them, but I truly believe it.
Yeah. Yeah, with Curtis, it's top 5 for me. That's what I'm thinking he's headed to. This guy, he has all the talents and all the gifts that you could have physically.
And he's a great dude.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's not like a guy you wouldn't want to hang out with.
Right?
Tons of people have met him and they'll be like, hey, I met your guy Curtis. Oh, he's so nice. I'm like, well, yeah. Well, what the fuck did you expect?
Yeah, he's not a knucklehead fighter. He's an athlete.
He's
you know
not.
what I mean? He's just that way.
And he's marketable.
Yeah.
Which I think is, good for both companies.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Did I tell you how I met Curtis?
Take the microphone, Robert, so we can hear you.
So, I know I don't look like you, but I'm a basketball player. So I was playing basketball at next level. I was sitting on the bench, and I see this tall kid running around on the court. Doesn't look like a basketball player. He had fight shorts on. And I'm looking at him. I'm like, there's blood on his shorts. This guy's actually probably really does train. Right. So he sits on the bench. I sit next to him. I start talking to him, and that's how I met Curtis.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then
Probably sat there and had a regular conversation with you, right?
No, we talked about jiu-jitsu. We talked about this. I think Mike Hansen might have been training with Curtis at that time, and I trained with Mike. And I trained with Mike here too.
Yeah, he came here
for a while.
Years.
So it was kind of cool. So we knew of some other people that we knew. Then he realized, okay, well, this guy does know a little bit of mixed martial arts, and started talking. And he told me, watch me. And I'm like, I promise you, I will follow you. Yeah. And then that was, I think he was maybe 5 fights in or something, 4 or 5 fights in, and been watching him ever since. And he was right.
Yeah. Running into him in Burbank.
All over.
Right? Lights out.
It was the shorts.
CXF, rather.
He had blood on the shorts.
Blood on his shorts. He had white fight trunks on, but there's actually like stains on it. So I'm like, this guy's legit. He's not just running around trying to scare people. He's for real.
But he 2 birds, 1 stone for sure. You probably scared some people off the gym, right?
Who, him?
Curtis, yeah.
No.
Okay.
I mean,
Believe it or not, where Robert plays basketball, fights break out left and right. So I absolutely love watching him play.
There you go.
this is a long time ago. I don't know. What is it now? 5 years?
Yeah. 5 years ago. That's brilliant.
That's cool. Good story. Hey, what do you got for watchers, listeners, viewers?
Well, we have 5 viewers, but they're not popping up on my screen right now.
It's all good.
But yeah, I wanted to take a moment to give a shout out to one of our biggest sponsors, Our Life CBD.
In the house.
Adam, you gonna catch it?
Hey, that shit works.
Yeah.
Hey,
Whoa,
I got some last time I came here.
Here we go.
I use it. Works great.
Now,
I'm gonna catch it.
Last show, Adam hit in his face, and it was
Just
pretty
don't
bad.
throw it at Ben, but
There you
Adam
go.
catches with his
Right there.
eyeball.
So you throw it to me. Led the nation in interceptions my senior year in college, right? There was no CBD then.
Yeah. No, so, I mean, I guess the story is they didn't tell me that this thing was coming.
Oh, jeez.
We told him 4
I have
times.
proof.
Hey,
Let's
Krav
clip that.
Maga,
Let's clip
always be
that.
ready.
Oh,
Right? Obviously, he doesn't train any Krav Maga. Always be ready, right?
Yeah, so
This is how you prepare for that.
got it.
I'll show you the video after the show.
Yeah,
I think I saw it.
Yeah, so not my finest moment. But speaking of not fine moments, we just had like the Tito Ortiz, Chuck Liddell. I'm not Tito Ortiz, Chuck Liddell. Tito Ortiz and Alberto El Patron
You know
fight.
what?
That's
I did
right.
not see that. I
Okay.
tried to find it. I could not find it.
Okay.
I could not find it. I was intrigued. Like, to be honest with you, I thought it was going to be a work.
Yeah.
It seemed like a work
Yeah,
to me.
absolutely.
Right? But
But it was on YouTube right away. After the fight was
I
done, it
couldn't
was
find
already.
it. I tried to look
It's
for it.
all
I
over
couldn't
YouTube
find
right
it.
now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you play that
I
fight,
lost
Robert?
focus on it.
Oh, we can't play it? Okay.
Yeah.
If it was boring,
No.
I don't want to see it.
I thought we could show highlights.
So here's the thing. Obviously, Alberto, prior to the WWE, he had MMA, experience. He's the guy who got head kicked by Crow Cop, and I think it was Pride or K1.
Yeah, and he was wearing a mask.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
so-
should have told him.
Where's the motivation to take this
I
fight?
should have told him.
Right? I agree.
The last guy kicked me in the fucking head and made me go straight to wrestling.
Yeah.
Know your lane, bro. Know your lane.
Right?
Guess what? I'm not going to do pro wrestling. Those dudes are fucking maniacs,
Right.
right?
Yeah, right.
Know my fucking lane. I'm in the
That's right.
fight lane. I'm not going to go do all that shit, right? Know your fucking lane.
Yeah. But, I mean, in terms of... So, one of the things that I didn't dig about that fight, and the one thing that Bellator... The one thing that I love about Bellator, you might have either, a marquee fight or you might have a freak show fight, right? But what they do is have that undercard with local or upcoming guys and girls that...
That is a good. I mean, shit. Jake has fought on the undercard of
Yep.
Bellator 3 times. I mean, twice he's been the main event. After the card,
Yeah.
the dark fights, he's
Yeah.
the last fight, and shit, his fights were fucking awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jake Rosales never been in a boring fight.
Yeah.
Right.
I do concur. Yeah.
So and he's not the only one. I mean, there's those undercard. Curtis fought Johnny Cisneros.
Yep.
Curtis
Yeah.
fought Johnny Cisneros. The second fight after the main event of Tito Chael.
Yeah, that
I
was
think
Tito
Chael.
Chael. Yeah.
And Jake was 2 fights after that. So 2 of the best guys on the card fought the dark fights
Dark
that nobody
fights.
fucking saw.
Yeah.
And I mean, not just my guys. There's other guys that fight on that.
Chad Georgia Smuka was on the dark card.
Yeah,
too.
Chad
Yeah.
There's great fights that are on the undercard. That's the one thing I really like about Bellator is that they do give these opportunities. Now, I mean, it's fucking ticket based. Come on, let's if you got a great fighter who sells 1 ticket, ain't gonna put his ass on there. But
Right.
that's the name of the game.
Right.
It's an unfortunate part. That's the name of the game. But yeah, Bellator does a really good job. About
Yeah,
that.
and that's one thing that I wish I would have seen with the Combate. So you do have, I mean, arguably the most talked about fight in the promotion's history, and then I mean, one of your homegrown guys in Ricky Palacios, he's fighting on the undercard, not.
Yeah, I couldn't have got my guys out of Combate faster than I did. Right, the way that organization was ran in the three times that I was at them, I was at 4.
Mm-hmm.
Jake fought once, which was I think they were like one of their first shows, and he fought. It was a good fight. Javi fought there like 3 times.
Right.
But they tried coming. They're like they tried taking a mold from the UFC and the sponsorship where you have to wear these shorts, you have to walk out in this shirt, and I was like, no, we're wearing our shirt out. We'll wear your fucking shorts. Save us some money, but
Yeah.
we're wearing ours. And they're like, you can't. I go, well, then fucking pay us. Because we're getting sponsorship money for these shirts. And they were like, okay, well, you can, but none of the other guys can. I was like, yeah. Wow. Look, I got, they didn't have nothing in the warm-up rooms. There wasn't a bathroom. Like, we had to walk into the crowd to go to the bathrooms. And it wasn't like OC Fight Club. Like, we were upstairs. There was no fucking bathrooms, right?
Well, at the exchange, yeah.
In L.A.
Yeah.
It just they cared more about treating the celebrities well than they did of even having water for the fighters. I had to send somebody out to 7-Eleven or wherever to get water for the guys because
Wow.
Javi had drank all the water that we had. And We don't have no fucking water. And the bar didn't sell bottles of water. They give you a cup of water.
Yeah.
What am I going to fucking balance that between rounds, the end of the round, and give him a sip out of it? But the one thing I will say about Combate is when I asked for the release of Javi, they granted it immediately. So I just think they had grandioso, goals, and I just don't think they approached it the right way. Right? And they kept that dude on the shelf. He fought once a year for 2 fucking years. Right? And I was like, this kid's trying to survive. Yeah. He's working, some shitty ass jobs and going to school and training.
Plus 5 days a week, yeah.
And they wouldn't answer my emails about letting him fight on other cards. So I had to pull a few strings and find out who's the guy I needed to get a hold of. And got a hold of that person, and they gave us the immediate release. So, I mean, maybe it's better now. I don't know, but I know my guys ain't signing no contracts. That's for damn sure.
Yeah,
we'll sign one fight, right? But that's it.
Now, we talked about off air, but the importance of an LFA, right?
I love LFA. I love LFA. I love the way their organization is ran. I love the opportunity it provides for fighters, right? I love the fact that is the feeder show for the UFC right now, right? And Bellator, right? Like, if you're a champion in LFA, you're going to get a shot.
Right.
I mean, that's how Curtis got his shot.
Absolutely. I remember that.
That's how Jake's going to get his shot.
Yeah.
LFA is coming back January 31st, Costa Mesa. I have a sneaky suspicion one of my dogs is going to be the main or the co-main. Might even have a guy on the undercard, right? So buy your tickets.
What date is this again?
January 31st.
31st. Okay.
Yeah.
Just announced Costa Mesa. We should know this week if we're going to get maybe one or two of the guys on there, right? I'd love to get Joey Dorado on there, but I don't think he has enough fights.
That would be cool to see.
He's 1-0.
Joey Dorado's a gamer. Good kid. El Machete, Richie.
They're
right?
like best buds. Yeah.
Inseparable.
Yeah, inseparable.
Nobody wants Joey. Nobody wants Joey. We've had so many people turn him down for fights. We can't find him a fight anywhere. Wow.
And this is at Emmy? Pretty much?
Pro? He's 1-0 pro.
Wow.
He knocked out the former state champion, and the guy was 3-0, and his debut at OC Fight Club, it was Trevor Wells.
Oh, yeah.
Tough kid, real tough kid out of Dan Henderson's.
Yeah.
3-0. They were surprised we took the fight. I'm like, nobody's going to sit in front of this kid.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, this kid's got pop. He's got power that you just can't mark. He's got like Francis Ngannou power in comparison to a 135.
135er, yeah, absolutely.
I'm telling you, this kid hit me with a fucking elbow with an elbow pad on a few months back, and I had to stop and be like, if you fucking ever do that again, I'm gonna fucking kill you, right?
Wow.
Because it was just like, and every now and again he'll sprinkle something in. He's not trying to throw hard. He's just one of those dogs that just got lead in his hands. All those fucking hands break all the time. You know,
wow.
He hits so hard that he breaks all the bones. He's very similar to Francisco Rivera.
Wow.
He has a very similar power. Cisco's a much more seasoned striker.
Sure.
But when it comes to power, they're like nipping at each other's heels.
Wow.
Same weight class. What Cisco makes up, what Cisco has more of in as far as like fight IQ and being able to chain stuff together, and Cisco's got high kicks, and he's just a way more advanced striker. Joey makes up for in the fact that he is a unbelievable wrestler.
That's
probably one of the best wrestlers in my room. Wow. So, and I think that's what's scaring people. I think that's why people are being like, "Nah, I want this kid. Let's bypass this one." So, but eventually, somebody's gonna be stupid enough to sign that dotted line.
And Joey's been on the show, so if you don't know, watch the show we had with him, because his story is really cool.
He does have a great story. He's such a good dude, man.
Yeah,
really.
He's such a good dude. He's a clown. I call him Questions, because I will say, all right, guys, we're going 3 5-minute rounds, just kickboxing. All right, is there any questions? Joey would be like, hey, is it just kickboxing? Like, right? To the point where I'll say now, and I'll look at him. You got anything? He'll be like, nah.
No.
I'm like, all right, good.
Now, people want to look him up. Is it Joey? What's his last name?
Dorado.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dorado.
All right.
Yeah.
Gorilla Face.
He Gorilla Face. He's got
Joey
like
Gorilla Face.
600 nicknames. We can't even figure out a nickname because he gave himself all these nicknames.
He had the shirt too. I think it said Gorilla Face on.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, he's a good kid.
He's a good dude, man.
Right?
Talented
Yep.
as shit.
I would just go with El Dorado, right? It leads to gold.
You know what, though? Something about two guys like Richie and Joey to drive each other forward, like almost like having a big brother beats the shit out of you.
Yeah.
It's always that.
Richie
you know?
coming back from Nebraska after he got done wrestling in college and being here has really helped Joey, and I think Joey has helped Richie. Like, they carpool together, they drive together, they hit pads together.
Got that vibe, dude. They did a show together.
They're coming to strength training
You
together.
know?
They drive to Whittier from Santa Ana to do strength training. It's like that they're pushing each other.
Yeah.
And that's, you really love seeing that. And
Absolutely.
I think that's where they're having success because, when Richie wasn't around, Joey was a little less focused. Mm-hmm. Right? So I think that it's they're buying in. They're buying into the system.
That's that catalyst for both of them to work that CSW system. They have each other and they're grinding it out,
Absolutely.
And going back to Nick Patea, I think it's his old man. I mean, I know he's got Ben in his corner, but his old man fucking teaches that
Fuck yeah, he
boy.
did.
Yeah.
That is an old man with some heart. I
Nick
love
came-
that guy.
When Nick came and tried out for my team, his dad brought him. They brought him from All In, right? And he's like, we're gonna go check out a few gyms, and we wanted to come over to you first. And as soon as his dad watched practice, Dad sat there and watched the whole practice of Nick, and they were like, yeah, no, we're coming here.
The
We're
fuck
not going,
is that?
We're not going anywhere else. We're not going anywhere else. And his dad has been, very supportive. Shows up, what's up, coach?
Yeah, I
his
love
dad
that.
trusts. I think his dad trusts me, and they trust this. I think they can see. They can see the results, right? I think they can see the fact that he's dedicated, and it helps to have a support system like that. But Jacob Rosales,
Yeah.
fuck, his dad and mom and stepmom. They're so goddamn supportive. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If that dude lived with me, I'd kill him. He worked for me, and I wanted to kill him. I have no idea how his parents do it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love that kid like he's my brother, right? Or even more. But when you have that kind of support system at home, it makes my job so much easier.
Yeah, you mentioned the mental game, and I wonder having that support really kind of helps them put it together.
It does. It does.
You're not coming from that broken background. You got pieces all over the place. You got a solid human being ready to kill.
And they're helping them.
Yeah.
They're making it very easy for these guys to get better.
Awesome.
Because they have requirements with me, right? I got one rule, and it's do everything I fucking tell you to do. That's simple. Show up every day to practice. Come back to night class. Go to strength training. Run on your own. Do the extras. Study YouTube. Study Instagram. Pick stuff. And when they have these families like that allow them to work for the company of the family, they don't got to have these jobs, these shitty ass jobs at Buffalo Wild Wings, making next to no money, working till 3 o'clock in the morning. Shit, that's what I had to do. I went to the fucking bar, 4 days a week till 2:33 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
Right? And when they have these families that allow them to really chase this dream, it's fucking unbelievable, man. Like, it's something that I wish I would have had. These guys, I want to move out on my own. It goes, you better stay your ass in that house.
That's right.
Let's take your first game check and then pay rent for a year, right? Or your first game check, your first first big fight check, and we'll pay rent for a year then. But then you better stay in that damn house. Stay in that damn house and eat all that free food, right? Because when I was 17, they were like, you gotta go. And it's
you and me both
survive. It was out surviving,
That's
but
right.
you wonder, had it been different, what more could you have achieved, if you'd had a support system like that.
Yeah.
So, I definitely really appreciate like the families because they know.
Yeah.
They see what I make these guys do.
And they're at the fights, and they're just wonderful people. So Adam and I are doing interviews, and we meet the whole family. So we dig
absolutely.
it, dude. I get to know everybody, So it's awesome.
You sort of get to see where these guys that like the cloth they're cut from.
Yep,
too.
absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, you meet a guy and his dad's some fucking drunk asshole in the crowd being obnoxious, and you're like,
Seen him. I've
you're
seen
like, I
him.
know that apple might not be that far from the tree.
Yeah, it might not be champion quality either because they're out there slugging for it. Might have some game, but it's not that mental game you need to get where the game needs you to go to
I'm
finish.
lucky that I haven't really ran into a situation like that.
Yeah.
Where I have like a family that's almost working against me. I've had a couple girlfriends of my fighters that have worked against me.
Really?
And those relationships have been ended. There's a relationship that's going to get ended. It's either ours or you and her.
Choices, man.
Right? Like, at the end of the day, If you don't have people that are around you trying to uplift your life and be positive, I talk to my guys all. If you have people that are dragging you down negatively and whatever, get fucking rid of them. Get rid of them. Get rid of negative entities in your life.
I love that.
Get rid of it. I mean, you guys should stay together, but other than that, you know.
Well, sometimes
I'm
negativity
happy.
drives us forward. No, that's smart, and it's something that we often talk about. But it's great to hear from you because, you know, you're driving fighters to their very limits of what they can actually put out, and positive energy is so important. You know, and that people look at MMA still in a very negative way, as if these are pit bull fights.
Because they can't do it.
Exactly, and they don't know what it takes.
Because they don't have it. They don't have it for whatever reason, good or bad, right? And I don't judge people because they don't want to fight, or I just don't. I don't do that. Like,
It's not for everybody.
It's just not. It's not for everybody. It's not in you.
Yeah.
Right. But how could you deny somebody that has dedicates a huge chunk of their life to being really fucking good at something, regardless. Golfing, painting, singing, fighting, whatever the fuck it is, right? Being good at computers, whatever it is. It doesn't matter, right? You got to respect that. So, they're just ignorant people.
Yeah.
It's like the same kind of people that hate for no reason. They just hate to hate.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. I mean, when you look at what it takes to become a doctor or a black belt in jiu-jitsu, it's a pretty similar time period and effort and years put in.
Right, absolutely.
You know, to be a jiu-jitsu practitioner at the black belt level. You know, it's incredible, the measurement and then what you put your body through. Mm-hmm. And then to put MMA in there, to put, you know, kicks, elbows, feet, punches.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's not easy, you know.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to do it, but not a lot of people want to work for it.
Right.
Hell, that's the damn truth.
And then you meet people that you would never know that they do all that and what they'd already been through just to get in the cage. Because to get in the cage, you have to already have not only the mental and physical fortitude, but the technical experience as well, just to get there. And then they walk off, and you wouldn't know if they were a golfer, a football player, fighter, just good people. Yep. You know,
I'm a nice guy. I smile at everybody and wave and shake hands.
You should.
I'm the nicest guy
you know.
Me.
Honestly, but you don't want to. You know, when I get mad, I try not to get mad because if I do get mad, it takes a lot.
That's why I never fuck with you, Joe.
And
That's why do you talk shit to you in the words of the
Never.
You know, you should just be fucking nice to people.
No,
Yeah, Joe,
that's
nice.
and I'm very nice to everybody.
You know how much
nice.
harder it is to be an asshole to somebody than it is to just be nice to people?
I mean, I deal with this guy every day. Dondo's an asshole.
That's right. Don't forget it.
Yeah,
You are what you eat.
I have to calm him down, put him back in my pocket.
It's negativity, man. If you're putting that shit out there, trust me, that shit's gonna come back at
Oh
you.
yeah,
That's right.
It's a fact.
yeah. And people yell at me, I just smile in their face like, "Oh, you done?" Like really?
You know
need
how
a
many
hug?
drunk people, you know how many drunk guys I've talked to at my bar that told me they were gonna whoop my ass?
Can you imagine?
Same here.
Can you imagine?
Like, well,
And then what I usually tell them is like, either one, I'm going to embarrass you in front of your friends or in front of your girlfriend, or just calm the fuck down. I would hate to 86 you. Just go home. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll have a drink tomorrow.
I try. Hey, I've done this. I'll pay. I'll buy your next beer when you come in. Fuck you, bitch. I need.
Whoa.
We'll take too many more of those bitches.
Yeah,
right? You know?
I'm same way.
I would rather de-escalate the situation when I was in it, right? Because, well, look, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Yeah.
Right. You never had the hands of a man that could kill you on you. You never had that. You don't know what it's like.
No.
Right. So plus. What am I gonna fucking break my hand on you? You know, what am I gonna
Not
have
worth
to
the time.
explain to the cops that I didn't really choke him out? He fell. He
fell.
passed out. You
Yeah,
know, like
exactly.
I gotta come up with all these new lies, right?
He was
Did
trying-
you hit him? No, I need him in the liver. Well, how do
He
you
was
know
trying
what
to
the
kiss
liver
me.
is?
Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
you know, you gotta be real careful when you explain to the cops. Why is that guy unconscious? I'll be honest, I don't know. I came out of the bar. He's sitting like that. They got me on video suplexing this dude with a fucking cast in my hand. You know.
And then him sprinkling with tequila on his shirt.
Yeah, I'm
there
like,
you go.
That dude's drunk as shit. Look at him. He fell and choked himself. I mean, he got knocked out.
Yeah, oops.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'd be remiss not to talk about the fights that happened last weekend. We have a new featherweight champion, right?
do.
How much of the fight did you catch?
I saw all of them. I saw from the Jeff Neal, Mike Perry, the last fight on the prelims through the main card. I was most impressed with the Holloway fight.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
thought that guy came out with a absolutely brilliant game plan. I thought he could have done a couple things different, but I thought what he did perfectly. He did something that we do that I really like. And he got away from it at the end of the fight, and I think he could have sealed the deal a tiny bit more. But that guy's tough as shit.
Yeah, Volkanovski.
I love the way Amanda fought. She went out there and just, I was at their first fight. Cisco fought on the same card.
Oh,
and
okay.
I was there the first time they fought, and I had a feeling it was going to go fairly the same way. Amanda's only gotten better.
Yes.
And she's only been fighting the best of the best.
Absolutely.
And she's in 5-round shape. And she's got that confidence, that swagger, that can't nobody beat me. She beat the GOATs before,
she beat the
before
GOATs.
she was the GOAT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So
In succession.
I wasn't surprised. The Covington Usman fight I thought was good. I liked it.
Right? I agree with that.
I'll be honest with you. I was surprised neither of them, except for one time, tried to do a takedown.
Yeah.
I thought at least they would use the threat of it
Right.
in their game plan to maybe get some hands down, land a shot over the top. I thought perhaps their wrestling would counter each other out. I was surprised Usman's cardio held up that long just because of his knee issues and the fact that he can't run a lot. But it just shows, at all. But it just shows you the amount of work that he put in. Great gym, 365 with Henry Hoof. Really good gym. So,
Almost went the distance, so I'm with you on that. Kobe just lost it right at the end, but it was an amazing fight.
Dude fought with a broken jaw.
Right?
Yeah.
2 rounds, yeah.
We saw it. Curtis saw it, actually. We were watching the fights together, and he saw it. He goes, his jaw's broke. Can't close his mouth. And honestly, that was a few meals in.
Yeah.
So wasn't really paying that close attention to his mouth. But I was like, holy shit, he's right. And then you'll come to find out, of course, he did have a broken jaw.
That's brutal. That's a brutal thing.
You know what was funny? When I was watching it, I actually thought that Holloway's jaw was broken because towards the end of the fight, he actually was like sucking in wind. For a guy with a gas tank that Holloway does, it almost seemed uncharacteristic,
Yeah.
But I mean, can we talk about Volkanovski? I mean, stylistically, that was the perfect style to almost thwart Holloway, right? And when you hear about him training with Israel Adesanya, and how creative he is with his offense, right? And you're like, okay, we're gonna see some of that. Maybe it's like a shorter.
I don't think so.
Right.
I don't think he adopted his style at all. I think that what they're gaining the most from that gym is being around a champion, absorbing the kind of stuff that champions put off.
Right.
Their work ethic, how they hyper focus on their negatives or on what could be perceived as their negatives, right?
Sure.
And they see that. I mean, maybe he picked up a couple tricks here. I thought the game plan they went out with was brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think it's brilliant because that's my game plan. Right? Well, it's one of them. There was a couple things that I probably would have had him do after or done more of that I thought would have been in a reaction. So your initial game plan is A. If they react a certain way, you go to B. Right? And I think that he stayed in A and waited for A to come back to do it again and didn't have a B to force A to happen again. So I think that's why... I know I'm being very vague, but I'm trying not to give out too much of what the fuck.
Yeah, you can't give up the game plan.
My
give
sort
up
of
the playbook.
system is designed around, not that anybody gives a shit, but
Hell yeah.
I was just really impressed.
Yeah.
And I felt like he held his composure really good.
Right.
Being in against a guy who's just outclassed everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
For a long time.
And people said, who do you got? I go, Max. Because I fucking bet against Max when it was Brian Ortega.
Oh, wow.
Unbelievable.
I thought Ortega... And I still do. I think he has something special.
Absolutely.
He just seems like a special guy to me.
Absolutely.
Right? Like he's made a championship blood.
We might see that. We might see that change now. He's changed camps. Some things have happened.
He did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we not supposed to talk about
I don't know. We might be blowing a whistle.
No,
I don't know.
I think
my fucking gym is wide open.
Hernandez and Chewy now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Raw talent.
Raw talent. And
Okay.
With
Tiki Gozin.
With Paul.
Oh, Paul Herrera?
Herrera.
Yeah, he's came to my gym a couple times.
Yeah. So
With a couple of
I do know that he's hurt and he might be out for another year.
Really?
Yeah. Well, he just pulled out of the fight with Zombie.
Zombie,
who
yeah.
Eddie coaches now. And I know they were really looking forward to that fight.
Wow.
Well, Frankie Edgar is now stepping in. That's this weekend, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, this weekend in
It was
Korea.
a sad thing too, because I think everybody already knows that I work closely with Iridium and a lot of their fighters, and so I'm always talking to Jacob and Jason, and they're all hyped about Korean Zombie. But at the same time, I'm also a little bit of friends with John Paul Leon.
A little bit. We're a lot good friends with that dude.
Jason was my manager.
Oh yeah,
Really?
I just had a meeting with Jason, and I think we're gonna start working together again with
That's cool.
representing my guys.
That's cool.
Wow.
That's a good choice.
You
I
know,
think.
then I'll be.
when I was with Jason, he was by himself, right? And you know, he was coming up in the game, and he represented Cisco and Bobby, and you know, he was really coming up. And me towards the end of my career, and you know, Jason was always he was a good manager to me. Like he did what the fuck he said he was gonna do, you know. And now I just had a meeting with him last week about us potentially working together again. And he was really excited. He came back the day after he got back from the UFC in DC. He drove out to my gym, and we had about an hour meeting, really good conversation. And his what he's done with Iridium, just the whole structure of they have it. It's hard pressed not to be really, really impressed with where he's come from and what he's done with it. And I'm excited about my guys potentially working with him. So, yeah, good company.
Yeah.
Really good company.
Yeah, the rest of the guys, Lance,
Jacob Parga.
all those guys are.
Yeah.
they're really.
They're all homies.
Yeah.
They're good guys. Good people.
Jacob gets shit done too. I mean,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
got so many things to take care of for the sponsorships.
That's
and
what
all
he was
that
telling
stuff.
me.
Yep.
See, Jason did all of this
Yeah.
before. He did every bit of it,
Yeah.
and now he's running a real good ship where he's got guys dedicated to doing certain jobs. That
It's a global operation.
Look, I know it, right? Because
Yeah.
I do it all
Yeah.
for my guys.
Yeah.
For the majority of my guys, I'm their manager. I'm their head coach. I'm their head striking coach. I'm their head grappling coach. I'm their jiu-jitsu coach. I'm their head MMA coach. I'm the guy who fucking tells them to sell tickets, right? I'm also, somebody that they look up to for advice. So it's a fucking lot,
Right.
right? And I'm okay with it, but I don't want to be anybody's manager, right? It's too hard, right? I need somebody between me and the promoters.
Right.
I need a bad guy. Because I can be the fucking bad guy, but I might be the bad guy for him, and then he gets fucked
Right.
on the next opportunity.
Sure.
And I just don't want that. I'd rather have somebody that knows what they're doing and has built these relationships outside of just,
Yeah.
the coach thing. And I'm trying to lighten my load a little bit. I'm looking for somebody to help me with striking. Just, you know how hard it is to hold pads for 35 guys 3 times a
Jesus.
week? It's just, and trust me, I'm not even doing it, right? It's just, I'm just spread really, really thin. The problem is I just don't trust anybody. Right. I mean, I have Coach Dale, who's fantastic.
Dale Roy Ball.
But he's super busy with his, teaching boxing
Yep.
and doing his. So he's hard. And plus, I got to get my guys to go to him, which is fucking tough, talking them into it. But I'm trying to get somebody in-house. But it's, it's hard to get somebody when the promise of you're not going to make any money. Right? But you could cut your teeth and you could learn a lot here. Right? I worked for a long time under Eric.
Yeah.
Some would say 20 years before I made any money at it, right? And I'm still not making great money at it. I don't do this for the money. I do it because I fucking love it. I love helping people achieve what they can the best they could achieve. I fucking love. That's why I'm in this game. Look, if I make some money at it and afford to take care of my family and stuff, that's fantastic, right? And that's obviously something that I want to do. But I think if I find the right striking person to come in and alleviate some of my pressure, that's really what I want to do. Now, it's a fine line because I don't want anybody coming in trying to be the head coach of my guys.
Yeah.
And I've seen it. I've seen guys go into other gyms where they're fantastic at something and guys start gravitating towards it because they're like, oh, I love the way this person does submission, or I love the way this person teaches me how to strike. And they start leaning on this person a little bit more. And they forget that he's the fucking head coach. And it's his show. Why? Because he's earned it.
Do you feel that sometimes fighters that have a particular set of skills that they're accustomed to or just better at, just like say since Joey's been a wrestler, and then another guy is more primarily striking, do you feel they gravitate to the striking coaches because the fact that they're comfortable with it, and then that guy the striking coach kind of says, well, and tries to game plan a little more than he should.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
Which has been my issue, right? Which has been my issue with people I've worked with that I feel like are good. Not all of them, some of them, and they've come up with their own game plans. And trust me, I will fucking nip that in the bud. right? It's my game plan. Now, I will talk to this person. Let's say you have submission coach, whatever, right? I will talk to him and be like, hey, here's my ideas. Bounce your ideas off me. Together we will come up with something. But at the end of the day, you're not going to fucking tell him something that I don't tell him, right? There's one voice. The one voice in CSW is mine on the fight team, right? When I need advice, I go to Eric. I go to the guru of all MMA. And I'm not afraid to, I'm not open to listening to anybody that has something advice to say, and I will honestly take it, right? And I don't pretend it's my own, right? I'm like, you know what, I heard this from this person, I think this might be really good for you. But at the end of the day, there's one voice. Nobody talks in the corner but me, and nobody tells game plans or training but me, right? If you want to teach certain techniques, that's fantastic. That's what I want you for. I want you because you're a specialist in that. I want you because you're able to teach something that perhaps I might be teaching, but they can hear it in a different way. Right? That's what I want you for. I don't want you to come in here and second guess me because we're going to have a fucking problem. Yeah. Right? Let's be a team. Let's not be individuals. Right? I took the aspect of, and look, this happens in every sport. My best friend is a Division I football coach at, I'm going to forget the fucking name of the school. The team from Florida. They were like 2 years in a row undefeated, lost to LSU last year.
What is it? Not Florida State.
I can't believe I can't remember the name of his fucking school right now. Anyways, they're really good. But I talk to him because he's the head running back coach. I talk to him all the time, right? He's been at Maryland, Colorado, this place, all over the place. And he's like, this shit happens in every single sport. And it's important, right? The staffs that know their role and the people that know their role, they have the most success. You think anybody on the Belichick staff, right, on the Patriots staff, second guesses him? I bet you they don't. I mean, they've had the top offensive coordinator in the league for years, and that dude has had tons of job opportunities. Yeah. But he's like, I'm good. I'm going to stay here right with you.
Yep.
Right?
Makes
Matt
sense.
Patricia finally had to be told, okay, go, coach the Lions. There's one captain of this fucking ship, and it's me. But I'm going to listen to everybody else. Right? Including the fighters. You I'll pose a question at you. Name one fighter, one champion, one world champion who's been his own head coach. It's not possible.
I almost made a wisecrack.
Was Mike Tyson his own coach?
No.
Customato. Yeah. He listened to whatever the fuck Customato told him to do.
The only person that I heard had BJ Penn.
And how has he done lately?
Not great.
You just ate your own sandwich right there, Robert.
Let's go to another sport. Let's go to another sport. Who's arguably the greatest, and I'm not a Patriots fan, who's arguably the greatest quarterback of all time? Tom Brady.
Right.
Guess who chews his ass every single day? Belichick. Right? But he's willing to listen. He knows I'm not my own coach. This ain't my fucking ship. Yeah. I'm going to do what this guy tells me to do. And guess what? I'm going to be the greatest of all time. I'm going to have so many fucking rings I can't fit them on my fingers.
It's a fact.
Right?
And the ass he chews at night, good Lord.
That's
Giselle Bundchen? Oh, my God.
Yeah, no shit, right? That it's an important factor. And when you can give it up and you don't got to worry about figuring out your own coaching, your own game plan, how I'm going to do for this, and you trust in somebody, right? Then you have success. And you don't go into that fight alone. If my guys trust me. They know I fought. They know I've been there. They know I'm not going to tell them to do something they ain't done. And I train with my guys every single day. Yeah. Right? I'm on the mat with my guys. I'm rolling. I'm sparring. I'm, for the most part, conditioning. I don't really do that shit too much anymore because I'm 43. But I used to. I used to up until recently. But they know. They trust that. So when I tell them to do something in a fight or they're getting instruction from me, they don't second guess it. They do it. Right? And they're not hearing, I hate when I see big fights and they go to the corner and you hear 3 fucking guys yelling something. I'm like, how do you expect your voices to differentiate between the crowd?
I agree with that.
They don't hear it. They hear this. I couldn't hear you, coach. Yep. I couldn't hear you. Yeah, because this motherfucker's talking and so is he. Right? I'll tell you a funny story. Jacob Rosales was in his amateur career. And we were fighting at, I want to say we were fighting at Quiet Canyon.
Wow.
If you guys remember that show back in the day.
Yeah, right off the 60.
And he was getting ready to go pro. And Jacob comes with a rowdy-ass crowd. La Habra deep, right? And all these fucking dudes are sitting behind me, including his pops, his moms, right? Everybody. And he sells 100 tickets to a fight.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in the corner. They're here.
Oh, no.
They're right behind me. There's no separation between the corner and the crowd.
I love that.
And I'm yelling at Jake. and they're fucking yelling their bullshit instructions. Hit him with an elbow. Motherfucker, you can't do elbows in the amateurs. Shut up, right? and Jacob's dad will tell you. They'll tell you. I stood up and turned around the whole crowd and I go, "Shut the fuck up and let me do it." And they're like, "All right, coach, do it, coach, do it, coach." Boom, Jake goes out there, gets a TKO next round. Right? So you got to quiet the voices.
Yeah.
I tell my guys before the fight, when I have my moment with them, right before we walk out, I go, "It's you and me. It's you and me. Your ears, my mouth, that's the only two things that are working here. And nobody can defeat us when we go in there together. If you go in there and don't listen to me, you're on your own." Right? But if we have this and that relationship is built through me game planning, me being the one person that's talked to you, not your striking coach and your wrestling coach. It's our job to talk.
Right.
Your job to listen to me.
So in between rounds, and you have say you have Eddie Chaw next to you. He catches something,
Sure.
picks up on something, then he'll relate to you, and then you relate into the fight?
Absolutely.
Got it.
So here's a great example. When Darion fought Henry, right? Jake Bainey's his head coach, right? So I know how to work with people. I worked with Eddie for years, right? I worked with Coach Eric for years, right? So usually I'm the one that talks because I got the loudest voice. My voice will echo across an arena. But with Jake was the one talking. So if I saw something, I would tell him, and Jake would add it into his instruction. Or if he didn't think it was important, he wouldn't say it. Or he might tell me, not right now because of this, right? And that was a good play that we really played really good off one another. And there was a point in the fight that I was like, "Let me go here," and he was like, "Take it."
Wow.
Right? So there was a reins switch. But that's how coaching staff should be, right? That's really how it should be,
Right.
so that you're getting the most effect. You don't want to confuse your guy. He's already fighting. Somebody's already trying to kick him in the fucking head.
Yeah.
Right? He didn't try to listen to two voices. That's how it should be. So my guys will like whisper to me. Like, if Jake's in the corner with me, he'll whisper me. Dale will whisper to me, right? And trust me, I'm not afraid to be like, "Shut the fuck up."
Right.
If I hear somebody start to yell, "Shut up," I'm because I'm hyper focused. I'm just not taking the ass kicking. So.
Now, what has been the I guess greatest moment of obviously you taking your knowledge from your fight career and then applying it to one of your fighters' kind of problems in the cage? Like, what has been the greatest, whether it be a knee jerk or something kind of long term that they've taken that hey, this is one minefield that they don't have to navigate through because I went through it.
The preparation. That's the minefield for me. It's not the stuff in a fight, because different guys are going to adjust to different things in fight. It's the minefield of the preparation, right? I hyper focus on making sure that there's no questioning within the training and preparation for a fight, right? You don't got to worry about your diet. You don't got to worry about your running. You don't got to worry about what we're doing at practice today. All you have to do is show up and do what I say, right? Because Coach wasn't like that with me, right? He trusted me. I was a pro athlete before I started.
Right.
Coach never told me to go strength training. He might have told me a couple times, like, "You running?" "Yeah." Right? But I always came back at night, and I always came to fight practice, right? So I know a lot of these guys don't have that history of that training,
discipline,
right? That preparation, or that discipline.
Right, absolutely.
Maybe they've never had to do it before.
Right.
Maybe they never had to be responsible as a teammate.
Structure.
Right? Maybe they've been in these wrestling schools that like, "You wrestle alone, you train." Shut the fuck up. Right? Like, stop.
Right.
Right? So the one thing that I feel like I brought the team aspect, and I brought from my fight experience and being around world champions and unbelievable coaches and teammates, I brought that preparation angle. Right? And I've tried to chip away at all the bullshit, chip away at all the shit that didn't work, chip away at the stuff that I know was just talk and wasn't effective, and streamline it for them. I've tried to take away as much thinking as they have to do as possible, and they just prepare.
Wow.
That's it. That's really my philosophy. I don't think it's like some world-changing philosophy. I just think it's I'm like this it's gonna sound weird. I'm like this sculptor, right?
Yeah,
I get these fucking pieces of marble, and at first I'm taking off big chunks, right? And then I'm fine tuning it, right? And then I'm sanding it, right? At the end, I'm just dusting it off. That's how I view getting
that
guys
seems
ready
right.
for fights.
That's perfect analogy.
Yeah.
Right? I'm trying to create this masterpiece, right? Look, the marble's the marble. That's the masterpiece. I'm just trying to help guide it along. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And that's,
absolutely.
That's sort of how I approach it. It gives me like a,
It seems
What
to
do you
me,
think about it?
if you can survive a fight camp with Ben Jones, then the fight itself will just happen.
that's the point.
And that's why, the way I see it, the way that you instruct.
My true goal is to be able to go to the arena and have the best seat in the house and be able to just sit there.
Yeah.
Not lose my voice. That's my dream, right? My dream is that one day I'm going to take my work that I've had since the beginning, and I'm going to be able to just release my work and let everybody appreciate it.
Wow.
Right? And I say my work, but it's really their work. I'm just helping guide them, right? I'm helping them to get the best out of themselves, right? Then I will know, like, truly, if I don't have to coach much because they're just doing the shit out, they're doing it before I would already say it. That's what I want. That's the perfect fight for me. It's not a win. It's not a loss. Of course, I want to win, but it's watching somebody do the stuff before I tell them to do it. That's a work of art for me.
Yeah, and you mentioned early on in our conversation how fighting and life kind of present the same type of obstacles, so coaching applies to both. And it seems that the people, because we've had quite a few CSW guys here, we had them at our gym, they really conduct themselves in such a great way that you know they're coming from a very, very hard and disciplined training camp, coach, team, and you know, it's a solid secondary family for them, you know, because they're good people. So I dig that.
I appreciate that.
I mean that.
That is definitely something that I think that coach has passed down to me that I'm, trying to carry on. It's a legacy. Like, you're not going to meet a person in this martial arts world that's met Eric Paulson and think that he's a bad guy. It's
Sure.
not going to happen. You will not run into that person. You will run into the opposite every single time. Mm-hmm. Right? And Eric and I have different personalities. I would say that I'm much more intense, right, than Eric, and I have a little bit more of an edge to me, especially now. When he was younger, absolutely not. He was the same way I was, right?
Wow.
Especially when he was fighting. I can only imagine. And I was there for the tail end of it. But, yeah, that's my guys are going to be respectful. My guys are going to sell tickets. They're going to be respectful to the commission. They're going to be respectful to the promoters, regardless of how scummy they are, right? They're going to be respectful to people, right? Even their opponents. Now, they're going to talk some shit to him, right?
Sure.
Like, I can't
part
stop
of the game.
Curtis from talking shit to people and pissing people off. That's what he does. He's fucking great at it, right?
Yes.
But my guys are going to conduct themselves with respect for other people because they're a representation of CSW.
Right.
Which is, so am I. That's why I conduct myself, when I go to these shows, I conduct myself in the same manner.
Right. Absolutely.
Right? You've never heard me get into it with other coaches, even though I might disagree with them. They've had opponents pull out 25 times on me, right? I don't say shit. I might say shit under my breath.
Right.
But I'm going to be very cordial to you. I'm not going to, create a situation. This martial arts, it's about respect, right?
Right. Absolutely.
That's what I'm trying to continue the legacy of at CSW.
Very cool. Very cool. I see that definitely with these guys. So, such an honor to have Ben Jones. Anybody got any parting questions?
And I've been looking out, and we have a lot of viewers, but I even said, hey, you want to shout out, give some questions? I think people are being shy or maybe scared of Mr. Ben Jones himself. So, yeah.
You know what my son said to me, my 6-year-old son, we were driving home, because, he watches practice, and he said, we're driving home, I got both my kids in the back, and he's like, hey, Daddy, why is everybody scared of you? And I go, they're not. They're not. And when I was like, nobody's scared of me, and he goes, yeah, I think so. I go, it's like, I got Rottweilers, right? And my one's name is Rocky, big Rottweiler. And I go, it's like Rocky. Everybody sees him, and they're a little bit scared of him. But when they get to know him, they know he's a really nice guy, right?
Yeah.
That's what it is. Like, I think people take the intensity of the way I am in the gym, and they think that that's, he's like that with every facet of his life, and that's just not true.
So if folks want to come to your gym, what's your address if they want to come take a visit? If they're allowed to take a visit.
They're absolutely allowed to take a visit. I believe it's 1080 West Palm Street in Fullerton, California. It's on the border of Brea /Fullerton /La Habra.
All right.
It's right off Palm and Imperial. There's Jack in the Box across the street. We're in a huge industrial warehouse right on the side right there. You can't miss it. My doors are open. If you're not happy with your team and you are a dedicated fighter who wants to be a world champion, my doors are open to you. But know that I have a very specific set of rules, right? And that rule is you need to show up every day and you need to do everything I ask.
So when they come to your gym, are they going to get that?
Bring your gear.
Was that what they call it, the Badger slap? Is that what I was
If you
told?
fight for me, you will get the badge.
That's what I'm talking
It
about.
had to get brought up.
Rain, snow, sleet, shine. That slap is coming and it's coming hard.
Well, if I go down there, I'm going to turn to that Jack in the Box parking lot instead.
You got to fight for it. If you make it through a camp, if you make it through practice, I promise you're going to want it.
Yeah.
You're going to want it on
Yep,
fight night.
yep,
They
yep.
beg for it.
I love it.
I miss it.
Yeah.
I love getting slapped.
He's going to slap a taco right out of your hand.
Slap it right into my mouth.
Well, you know,
I don't have to cut weight no more.
that's actually one of my favorite Ben Jones moments that I was able to capture. That I forgot what fight it was, but you doing the Badger slap and Myron Ayers.
Oh, Sparstar.
Yeah, Sparstar, right? Absolutely. And he literally is flinching, and this is a guy who's
They know it now.
Yeah, I know.
They got a Ben Jones rule now. You know, because you're not supposed to grease them
Yeah.
and then touch them again.
Yeah.
But I grease them and then I wipe my hands off and I
Yeah.
so I get them twice.
Love it.
At Sparstar, at that show you're talking
Yeah.
about, there was a new commissioner / ref
Okay.
that tried to jump in. When I slapped, I think I was slapping Ethan. I slapped Ethan and he tried to step in. He's like, no, and I was all, what? And I shoved him out of the way. And then the head of the commission was like, I'm sorry, he doesn't know he's new. And look, he's a really nice guy. We've become friendly at the shows, but they have a rule. They know, and trust me, we talk about it. Like, you know my thing, right? And they're like, you're good. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Knock the shit out of him.
I wipe the Vaseline off. I wipe them.
Come on. Very cool.
That's what I don't like about Bellator's. You got to do it in the back.
Really?
Oh,
You have to
really?
do it in the back. So when Bellator, when you walk out, notice nobody walks down the stage with them.
Right, absolutely.
They walk out
That's
the
right.
ramp
Yeah.
by themselves. They go right into the ring.
Yep.
The ref check, everything is done in the back.
Wow.
So I don't like doing it in the back because I like them to hear the whoa. I like them to get that first
Yeah.
crowd pump.
Right. Yeah.
Right when they do it. So that's the one drawback to Bellator.
Damn, that's
Wow. Now, and then heading back to Alondra Brown, what is the dynamic shift? Obviously, having a female fighter, does that change the dynamic of the gym? She was already a talented kind of prospect, blue chip prospect.
She's basically trained herself. She's trained with some people, but I don't think she's really had that head coach before. That well-rounded head coach that could take care of all aspects of the game. She's tough as shit, right? And I was actually really excited to work with her. She's dating Jacob Rosales. Right, who I'm never really happy with having a girlfriend because they've been distractions. But she's actually been a very positive distraction for her. And let me tell you something. That girl works her butt off. Right? I don't got to tell her. I held pads for her this morning. She got to the gym at my practice at 9:30. She got to the gym at 8. I told her to be there at 8:45. She got there at 8 and ran 3 miles before.
Wow.
She does that every day. Right? So those are the kind of people, right, with that work ethic that I can work with.
Yeah.
Those are people that they desperately want it. There's something in them. They fucking need it. And those are the people that I'm excited about. Now, she's the first female that I've really, really worked with extensively. There's been a couple others here and there, but they're half-assing it, right? And I'm not slamming them. They just weren't all in.
Right.
It wasn't. It didn't mean their life. They had other things pulling them different ways, jobs and stuff. So, but I'm excited to see where she goes. Unfortunately, she hasn't been with me very long, so I'm not sure how much of that is going to relate to this fight. I think enough of it will be.
Right. Absolutely.
But in 6 months, watch out for that girl.
Cool.
Well, we definitely got to have a part 2 of this interview because I know we're getting close to
This
that
could be
time.
part 3. We had Ben Jones on before. but
and
we gotta
the
do
part
it.
3. I mean, I'm saying right now. But so when they where they can catch you, social media.
I'm on Instagram, the Badger Jones, at the Badger Jones, Facebook. Ben Jones. You can get me through the CSW Training Center, just wherever, or just walk in the gym.
What about you, Mr. Woods?
According to Woods on everything. Yeah, man.
Dondo.
Dondo the Gym Crasher and John Dondo on Facebook.
And you can catch me, Joey the Bull Santana, on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat. All those crazy social
Did
media.
you say
a lot
TED
of stuff.
Talk?
TikTok, yeah,
I thought you said TED Talk.
Tic Tac.
yeah, not Tic Tac.
Tic-tac.
Hey, what did I tell you? What did I tell you off the
Vine,
camera?
are you on Vine?
Are you on Vine?
What did I tell you off the camera? I'll show you a Tic Tac.
Oh, God.
Better watch out, man. Anyway, folks, this has been a great segment of Gym Crashers. My name is Joey the Bull. We'll see you next week. Same bat time, same time, whatever that saying goes.
It's great being here, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
again.
Yeah,
Jones.
thanks again, Ben Jones.
This guy.
And
Right
up
here.
next, the next hour, we're going to watch our famous wrestlers here at the Royal Ramble catches. We'll see you next week. Peace out.
Peace. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Ben.
We